You work harder than ever, crushing your to-do list every single day, yet you still feel like you're getting nowhere. What if I told you the real problem isn't your work ethic? It's 5 invisible traps silently destroying your productivity. In this video, I'll reveal 5 hidden productivity killers that successful people avoid like the plague, and show you exactly how to eliminate them from your life starting today. I discovered these productivity killers the hard way when I spent 2 years working 12-hour days, but producing mediocre results. The breakthrough came when I studied high performers across different industries and realized they all avoided the same hidden obstacles. The problem is, most people blame themselves for being lazy or undisciplined when they're actually just fighting against invisible forces they don't even know exist. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to identify and eliminate these silent productivity destroyers. Let's dive in. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most people think having unlimited options is empowering, but it's actually crippling your productivity. Decision fatigue happens when your brain becomes exhausted from making too many choices throughout the day. Every single decision you make, from what to wear, what to eat for breakfast, which task to tackle first, to whether you should check that email, drains your mental energy. By the time you need to make important decisions, your willpower tank is already running on empty. Research from Cornell University found that the average adult makes about 35,000 decisions per day. And here's the kicker: each decision depletes the same mental resource pool. Psychologist Roy Baumeister discovered that this is why judges are more likely to grant parole in the morning than in the afternoon. Their decision-making capacity literally deteriorates throughout the day. Your brain treats all decisions equally, whether you're choosing between 2 socks or 2 career paths. This is why brilliant people like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg wore the same outfit every day. They understood that trivial decisions were stealing energy from important ones. First, identify your decision drain points, those moments where you waste mental energy on meaningless choices. Track 1 full day and notice where you pause to deliberate. Second, create decision protocols for recurring situations. Meal plan on Sundays so you're not deciding what to eat 3 times a day. Lay out your clothes the night before. Build a morning routine that runs on autopilot. Third, batch similar decisions together. Instead of deciding, should I respond to this email now? 50 times a day, schedule 2 email blocks and make 1 decision. I handle emails at 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. period. For instance, instead of scrolling through streaming services for 30 minutes every evening, that's decision fatigue. Create a watch list on Sunday and simply pick the next item each night. The difference is staggering. You'll reclaim hours of mental energy every single week. But that's not all. This next one is crucial because it makes you feel productive while keeping you stuck. Productivity theater is when you engage in activities that look and feel like work, but don't actually move the needle on your important goals. It's reorganizing your desk for the 3rd time, color-coding your calendar, watching productivity YouTube videos instead of doing the work, or obsessively checking email to feel on top of things. You're busy, exhausted even, but you're essentially rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. His is one of the most insidious productivity killers because it hijacks your brain's reward system. Every time you check off a small, easy task, your brain releases dopamine, giving you a hit of satisfaction. Research published in the Journal of Consumer Research shows that people prefer completing easy, low-impact tasks over difficult, high-impact ones. Because completion feels good, your brain literally becomes addicted to fake productivity. Meanwhile, the one project that could actually transform your career or business sits untouched because it's hard and doesn't give you those quick dopamine hits. Every morning, identify your one high-impact task, the thing that, if completed, would make everything else irrelevant or easier. Cal Newport calls this deep work, and it should be non-negotiable. Second, schedule this task during your peak mental performance hours, usually the first 2 to 4 hours after waking for most people, and protect that time like your life depends on it. Third, use the 20-minute rule. If a task takes less than 20 minutes and doesn't directly support your major goals, either batch it with similar tasks or delegate it. Here's a practical example. Instead of starting your day by quickly clearing your inbox, productivity theater, which expands to 90 minutes of reactive busy work, spend those 90 minutes writing that proposal, building that prototype, or creating that content piece. Your inbox will still be there at 2 p.m., but your important work will be done. Ask yourself daily, am I doing work, or am I doing work about work? Let's talk about something even more powerful. Most people don't know this, but every time you switch tasks, you're not just pausing, you're actively damaging your productivity. Context switching is the mental process of shifting your attention from one task to another. Sounds harmless, right? Wrong. When you're writing a report, then check Slack, then return to the report, then glance at your phone, then back to the report. Each switch carries a hidden cost. Your brain doesn't instantly shift gears, it leaves attention residue behind, meaning part of your mind is still thinking about the previous task even after you've moved on. A study by the University of California, Irvine, found that it takes an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds to fully regain focus after an interruption. Let that sink in. If you switch tasks or check notifications just 6 times in a workday, you've lost over 2 hours of productive time, not from the interruptions themselves, but from the recovery time. Research from the American Psychological Association shows that context switching can reduce productivity by up to 40%. This works because your brain is essentially a single core processor pretending to multitask. When you force it to juggle multiple contexts, it spends more energy switching than actually producing output. First, implement theme blocking in your calendar. Dedicate specific time blocks to specific types of work. Deep work in the morning, meetings in the afternoon, administrative tasks in the late afternoon. This way, your brain only needs to shift contexts a few times daily instead of dozens. Second, use the airplane mode method for deep work sessions. Literally turn off all notifications, put your phone in another room, and close all browser tabs except what you need for the current task. Third, create a capture system for intrusive thoughts. Keep a notepad nearby, and when you think, "Oh, I need to email Sarah," write it down and immediately return to your task instead of actually switching to email. For instance, instead of working on a presentation with Slack open, 15 browser tabs running, and your phone buzzing, close everything, set a timer for 90 minutes, and work on only that presentation. You'll accomplish in 90 focus minutes what would normally take you 4 hours of fragmented work. Your brain will thank you, and your output quality will skyrocket. This brings me to the next secret that most productivity gurus won't tell you. Now, you might be thinking, but I have a to-do list. Yes, but there's another one living rent-free in your head, and it's sabotaging everything. The phantom to-do list is all the tasks, commitments, ideas, and obligations floating around in your mind that you haven't written down. It's the mental inventory of, I should call mom, I need to fix that broken link, did I respond to that email, I have to research that thing, all competing for your attention simultaneously. You think you're keeping track, but what you're actually doing is forcing your brain to waste precious RAM on storage instead of processing. Psychologist David Allen, creator of the GTD, Getting Things Done method, explains that your mind is for having ideas, not holding them. When you try to remember tasks instead of capturing them, your brain goes into constant low-level anxiety mode, continually scanning to make sure you don't forget something important. Research from the journal Social Cognition shows this Zeigarnik effect. Your brain obsesses over incomplete tasks and holds them in active memory, which drains mental energy even when you're not consciously thinking about them. This is why you can't fully relax even during downtime. Your phantom to-do list is always running in the background like malware. First, do a compile. To mind dump right now. Grab a piece of paper or open a note app and spend 15 minutes writing down everything on your mental plate. Every task, project, idea, worry, commitment, and random thought. Don't organize it yet, just get it all out. Second, implement a reliable external capture system that's always accessible. This could be a notes app on your phone, a pocket notebook, or a voice recorder. The key is that it's always with you and takes less than 10 seconds to use. Third, establish a weekly review ritual where you process everything you've captured, decide what's actionable, and integrate it into your master system. Here's the game changer. Every time a task or thought pops into your head during the day, immediately capture it and forget it. Trust your system, not your memory. Instead of thinking, I'll remember to email that client after this meeting, spoiler, you won't, or you'll waste energy trying to remember. Write email client RE, proposal in your capture system and completely release it from your mind. When you trust that nothing will slip through the cracks, your brain finally stops that anxious background scanning and frees up massive mental resources for actual productive work. But wait, there's a fifth killer that ties all of these together. This last one is the most dangerous because it amplifies every other productivity killer we've discussed. Recovery deficit disorder is what I call the modern epidemic of never truly recovering from your work. You finish your workday but immediately scroll social media, watch stimulating content, check work emails just for a minute, or worry about tomorrow's tasks. Your body might stop working, but your mind never downshifts. There's no clean separation between on and off, so you never fully recharge. You're essentially trying to run a marathon without ever catching your breath. This is the masked productivity killer because it creates a vicious cycle. When you don't recover properly, you start each day with a depleted tank. Research from the Journal of Applied Psychology found that psychological detachment from work during off hours is crucial for replenishing mental resources. When you don't fully disconnect, your prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making, focus, and impulse control, never gets the restoration it needs. This is why productivity advice stops working. You can implement all the right techniques, but if you're operating on a chronically drained battery, nothing will save you. Your brain needs deep recovery periods to consolidate learning, process emotions, and restore executive function. Without it, decision fatigue gets worse, you fall deeper into productivity theater, context switching hits harder, your phantom to-do list grows more oppressive, and everything spirals downward. First, establish a shutdown ritual that marks the end of your workday. This could be a specific phrase you say, workday complete, closing your laptop and putting it away, or a quick 5-minute walk. The key is a consistent signal that tells your brain work mode is off. Second, protect your evening with the same intensity you protect your morning. That means no work emails after 7 p.m., no quick checks of Slack, no ruminating about work problems. Use app blockers if necessary. Third, incorporate genuine recovery activities, not just passive consumption. This means activities that engage you differently: physical movement, creative hobbies, deep conversations, reading fiction, or simply sitting in silence. Your brain recovers best through varied stimulation, not just collapsing in front of Netflix. For instance, instead of finishing work at 6 p.m. but then checking email during dinner, thinking about work problems during your evening walk, and scrolling work-related content before bed, zero recovery. Try this. At 6 p.m., close your laptop, say your shutdown ritual, go for a walk without your phone, cook dinner while listening to music, read a physical book for 30 minutes before bed. You'll wake up with twice the mental clarity and energy because your brain actually got the recovery it desperately needed. Remember, rest is not something you earn. It's what makes productivity possible. Let's quickly review what we covered today. Number 1. Decision fatigue masquerading as freedom. Eliminate trivial decisions to preserve mental energy for what matters. Number 2. Productivity theater trap. Stop doing busy work that feels productive and focus on high-impact tasks that actually move the needle. Number 3. Context-switching carnage. Protect your focus by batching similar work and eliminating constant task hopping. Number 4. The phantom to-do list. Capture everything in an external system to free your mind for actual thinking, not remembering. Number 5. Recovery deficit disorder. Prioritize genuine rest and detachment to recharge your mental batteries fully. Remember, productivity isn't about working longer or harder. It's about eliminating the invisible friction that's been holding you back this entire time. You have everything you need to transform your productivity starting today. The only difference between where you are now and where you want to be is recognizing these hidden killers and systematically removing them from your life. These aren't minor tweaks. They're fundamental shifts that will compound over time. Don't wait until you're completely burned out to make these changes. Start with just one of these killers today. Pick the one that resonated most and implement the action steps I shared. I promise you, 30 days from now, you'll look back and wonder why you didn't do this sooner. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make right now. If you found this helpful and finally understand why you've been struggling despite working hard, hit that like button so this reaches more people fighting the same invisible battles. Subscribe for more no-nonsense productivity content that actually works in the real world. Drop a comment telling me which of these 5 killers hit home the hardest for you. I read every single one. And if you want to learn the morning routine that sets up your entire day for success, check out that video next. I break down the exact system that high performers use to win the day before 9 a.m. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.